Hey everybody. So we have backpack blower on the bench today. Probably tell by looking at it, it looks fairly new. I would guess this one is probably no more than a year or two old. It's made by Schroder. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. It's looks like a German name. Don't know too much about this. I know it's owned by my father-in-law. I know it runs. I saw it run, so we're not gonna be dealing with starting issues today. The only issue that he says it has is the fuel lines are disintegrating. I'm guessing this has something to do with ethanol fuel. So what we're going to be doing is swapping the fuel lines. Now, this is one of those, like I think it's maybe 199 or 250 bucks on Amazon. It's not an expensive blower. Might be able to get it cheaper elsewhere. There are also, because it's kind of an oddball brand, Schroder, there are not a lot of parts available for this thing. So for example, you can't go and just get fuel lines. They sell the fuel tank and the lines as an assembly for 50 bucks. So it's not like an Echo where you just go buy this line or that line or buy the line in bulk. Nope, you got to buy the whole tank. I think they sell the air filter separately, like the air filter elements. You can buy those. You can buy the ignition coil. Trying to think what else is available. There's only a handful of parts available for this thing, so it's more or less disposable unless you can find another source for these parts. Kind of a shame because it looks like a pretty nice machine. It's got nice big padded straps. The back rest looks a little short on the padding, but again, still not horrible. I did pull it over. It's got a ton of compression. Like I'm pulling. It's got a lot of oomph to it. So certainly have to give them some credit for building a blower that probably has some good power behind it. All right, enough babbling. Let's get going. Let me glove up and we'll swap those lines out. Okay, so both of these lines are this clear rubber variety. We need to figure out which one is the supply and which one is the return. And I probably should have this memorized by now, but I just don't. So let's see. Wow, this thing is really bad. And this one, yeah, look at that. Look how shrunk it is. That's crazy. So this one is probably our return line because there's nothing hooked up to the other end of it. And this one, I'm guessing, is our supply line. This is kind of what happens when you don't use ethanol-free fuel, too. It just attacks these fuel lines. Just pulling the line off the carburetor, and it does not want to come off. Wow. I'm gonna have to cut it. I'll put a slice right down the middle of this line. Let's see if it slides off now. Man, it's like welded on there. I guess German fuel line isn't all it's cracked up to be. Yeah, I gotta scrape the rest of that fuel line off of there. Okay, I took a fresh section of rubber fuel line. I cut the tip of it at an angle right here. That'll allow us to hopefully feed it through this grommet a little bit easier. And we'll see if we can sneak in with our hemostats and pull it through the rest of the way, hopefully. Some machines are easier than others. This one might actually go pretty easy. Looks like it just slipped through. Yeah, I think it went through all by itself. Now we'll do the same for this other line. So we got our return line hooked up. This is gross. Let me pull the filter out of the tank. It's more like a strainer, not much to that filter. So I think what we'll do is we'll slice the line off here again, just like we did on the other line. I'll pull it down and through. Just want to get an accurate length measurement. This one put up much less of a fight. Oh, okay, it just broke. Oh boy, look at that. Just falling apart. Set that aside for the moment. Got to push the rest of this stuff. Let's see if we can grab it. It may have fallen into the tank. Got a new section of line cut. We'll thread it through just like we did the other side. The vent. I mean, not the vent, the return line. Only this one, we're going to have to feed it much further through, pull it back out, and attach a fuel filter to it. So I've grabbed it with the hemostat through the fuel filler cap. Just feeding it through. Aim it down a little bit. Thankfully, the fuel tank gromet's in good shape because that's not something that's sold separately either. So if you need this stupid little rubber grommet, you're buying a whole $50 fuel tank. Not very cool in my opinion, but is what it is, right? So we'll reattach this line to the supply side. This one is barbed. We'll take our fuel filter. Actually, no, that's the vent, I'm sorry. Grabbed the wrong one. Fuel filter's over here. So we'll take the fuel filter off of this hose. Didn't put up much of a fight. We'll square off this end right here. And slide the filter back on, just like so. All right, now the only thing left to do is the vent, because you can see it kind of necked down in that grommet as well. This vent seems kind of cheaply made. It's falling apart. Okay, after a bit of fighting, I got the vent off. So now what we'll do is we'll put this clamp back on here. Put the vent on. So we could slide this clamp over the fuel line. Might not be able to. This line is a bit thicker than the old stuff. Okay, got it up far enough. And we'll just simply slide this into the tank, just like we did the others. That should do it. Let's pump the purge bulb a couple times, draw some fuel up. Yep, things are working just fine. So, quick and easy repair. You know, you spend maybe $1 or $2 in a fuel line. In reality, it might be like $4 or $5. This stuff is pretty expensive. I'll leave a link to this line in the description. I know Echo makes this fuel line. I believe the one I'm using is aftermarket, though, made by Rotary. But it works great. I've had no problems with this stuff. And this repair should last a good long while. And certainly, if the line costs you, say, even you buy it in bulk and spend $10 on it or whatever it costs today, and you save a $50 fuel tank, I think that's worth it. Right? Because you're going to spend $45 for the tank plus shipping, so it's probably even more than $50. So anyway, I'm not going to bother starting this one because, again, I saw it run. It ran pretty well, but it's just a shame that it's having these sorts of fuel line issues inside of, you know, a year or two. Actually, I found a date on one of the fuel lines that was from 2021. It's 2023, so 2 years old. Anyway, enough babbling. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe. Stay safe. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.